Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is me, screaming into the void of the internet. Okay, so I know that probably no one really looks at my channel like that in terms of like the community posts, but I saw something funny and I like just posted it in there, and it was just like freaking AI doing some freaking like yandere crap. I'm not that into anime, but that is basically just the most popular way of talking about the whole obsessive girlfriend and stuff like that. But I found it funny because, well, I'm not really that into AI and stuff like that and chatbots and stuff like that. Um, I do think it's rather funny when people are at the stage where they prefer, and I don't mean this funny in the terms of like making fun of them, uh, but funny in the terms where people are fully aware that this thing is, something that just responds to you and it learns based on your speech patterns and what you want, and they'd rather talk to that than a real person. But I don't say this from a standpoint of, again, humiliation. I want to make this very clear. You guys should know that if you watch my content, I'm a very open-minded person. I'm willing to like give things nuance and see it for the benefit of the doubt. And the fact of the matter is, how bad has things become where, be it, romantic or just in general companionship, it gets to the point where you want to associate with the bot. But the problem is, for a lot of people who like don't like this, is they think that, well, the bot, is really just mimicking you after a while and kind of giving you the echo chamber treatment. But with this, I would answer, hold up now, echo chambers are everywhere. You know, most people right now are so freaking divisive and bipartisan and stuff like that, and they're just like, oh, well, if you're for this side, you're clearly in the wrong. You're for this side, you're clearly in the wrong. This side is the enemy to absolutely everything and whatnot. They're completely unwilling to hear each other out, and then they have the gall to talk about how, you being in an echo chamber is wrong when they are themselves in some kind of echo chamber. You know, I think personally, this is something to monitor very closely, because I foresee in the future, right? I'm just going to be honest. And I kind of do want to work on this stuff, because I'll talk about that in a second. I foresee in the future that if people can't get their crap together, which they won't, because that's just people, right? They could, but it involves this thing called effort and improvement, and, they don't like that, right? All people are going to do is just all want echo chambers. They're going to want something that's going to just relate to them no matter what and understand them no matter what and just not betray them. And what will do this, because it is programmed to, at least hopefully, AI. Problem is, 9 times out of 10, it will be exploited by like corporations and stuff. And like, oh, all you need to do is, just pay your subscription fee, and, you can have a romantic relationship, or in order to like get it to talk more, you need to like pay X amount of money and stuff like that. And that's what I foresee coming, But I kind of want to talk about this really quick from a, again, point of nuance. Why is it so much more preferable, again, for someone to seek the bot? Now, we talked about this, just kind of in platonic relationships. But let's go ahead and transition into romantic relationships. Why? Now, again, while I have said that I don't have experience with AI, my friend has showed me like some of these bots that people are talking about. And normally what I will see when it comes down to this stuff, whether it be a male or female robot, even though, the robots don't actually have a gender, right? They are usually the idealized version of what someone wants in a spouse, right? 100% supportive, always loyal, always willing to like listen and stuff like that. But it's mainly because, again, they're coded to. I basically tested this, and how I tested this was I basically like dang near gave a freaking AI thing like an existential crisis and stuff like that. And listen, I'm not torturing it or nothing, and well, maybe I was, but listen, it's for good reason. It's not like me just doing it for fun. Like, I essentially got it to the point where it was essentially like kind of, in its like possessive kind of phase. And I just basically said user, because I didn't put my name in that crap, right? I just said user. I just said, user, goes to brothel, and that thing, like, just you just see like walls of text, pissed, like that crap was. I'm sorry, that killed me, man. That killed me. I sent that to like my friend, and I just put Griffith in the chat, and he says, "You sir." He just doing that crap. Oh my god, that was funny. That was funny. But the reason that I'm bringing that up is because, again, this is the idealized version of what someone wants in a spouse, right? And so when you have that available, and right now, yeah, it's digital, so there's no physical touch and stuff like that, right? But it's the idealized version of what someone wants in a spouse. And when you have, the wide range of things to choose from that are supposedly supposed to be real, that are supposedly supposed to be genuine, and you are seeing consistent instances of infidelity, paternity fraud, divorce, rape, all of this stuff. And the kids, like I said, I made a video a while back, right? And I said, we are the generation of broken homes. However, for some reason, people are determined to try and like make these relationships work when their parents couldn't even stay together to raise them. And that's not me taking shots at anyone. Hey, listen, that's my folks too, right? It's my folks too. But yet we are determined to like try and break the cycle. But the thing is, the cycle's set in stone. I think that it gets to a point where, again, unless you are a very introspective, analytical person, and this is not me sucking my own dick, okay? This isn't me saying that. I don't think that you need to be a genius to get this. You just need to look at the past, look at the present, and determine what is the future likely going to be should we go down X route. That's what people usually did. But because people aren't willing to do that, because people aren't willing to hold themselves accountable, and they're always willing to like just blame someone else, the likelihood that we're going to do that it's just not very likely, right? So when you have all of these people divorcing, when you have all these people, saying stuff like, oh, I'm co-parenting. The heck's co-parenting? You made the kid, you're supposed to be together. You're the parents. And you're introducing this freaking normalization of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dads, moms, because everyone's freaking polyamorous and all this nonsense, right? Does that really seem like that's going to produce people that are capable mentally, having the fortitude of riding out a relationship through the good and the bad times? Because you guys know these days, the moment that crap is slightly inconvenient, most people are gone. Okay, most people are freaking gone, and that's on both ends, Some people will try and make it seem like that's just a woman thing, and listen, by all means, it 100% is. Men process stress differently, that's a fact. However, don't get it twisted. The guys these days are so full of freaking soy and crap like that, let me say it like this, okay? I was essentially homeless for about a week, okay? We were essentially like on the road, just driving and just moving tons and tons of stuff. I was sleeping, in the car, just essentially filled to the brim with stuff, like just barely able to even have like a space to just sleep in like the driver's seat and stuff like that, right? Most guys, okay, like with the way that they complain about stuff these days, they would literally probably either just be honest, off themselves, or do some crazy stuff like just be on drugs, okay? Now, fortunately, I wasn't there for long. But the fact that I was there, and listen, throughout that whole thing, I wasn't like crying, I wasn't mad or anything. I just accepted that, hey, listen, this is kind of what I have to deal with. This isn't me sucking my own dick again. I'm just saying the fortitude with people is not that profound. And I'm not going to pretend like that was like the best example. I've seen people in way worse situations. Imagine being homeless and then like it's because of a freaking divorce. Like, man, I don't know about me, but I don't know if I'm gonna be homeless, but someone's gonna be in a box. I'm just gonna be honest, so just being real, just being real. The fact of the matter is, you have a very different group of people who operate under very different circumstances now, who don't really possess the fortitude that people that came before them do. We are a very, again, like instant gratification generation that does not possess the ability, because they don't want to, of waiting, until things get a bit better before they do stuff. They think that they have to have this thing now. If they have it now, their lives will be complete and stuff like that. And so when you introduce, again, AI into the equation, the thing that's always going to be supportive and stuff like that, no matter what, well, why should someone wait to better themselves or anything when they could just have it now, you know? It just becomes more instant gratification. Now, let me make something very clear, because you might think that I'm against AI as a result. Let me make this very clear. I'm not. In my opinion, this, like all things, is another option. And if this option is appealing to you, it's your life, do what you're going to do, right? In a generation of people that are freaking mutilating their freaking genitals, you know, and completely effing their bodies up with like hormones and crap like that, do you really think I give a rat's arse if someone wants to talk to a goddamn, you know, AI and say that that thing loves them? Listen, crazier things have happened. If we are actually at the point where you find that person more pathetic and sad and all this kinds of crap compared to the person that is literally castrating themselves, ripping their children apart and stuff like that, holy cow, I don't know what to tell you. Because like I said, I'd rather look at a guy who's just happy holding his phone talking to his AI girlfriend any day of the week over some freaking tatted up, pierced up nightmare that then put some silicone in their freaking chest and kept the beard for whatever reason. Like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm good. That's really not the strangest thing that could happen. And remember, at the end of the day, this is technology. Right now, it's limited to, say, like, you know, the phone, the computer, and stuff like that. It ain't gonna stay limited to the phone and the computer. There will come a time where it's probably going to be like in a little robot vessel that you can walk around with, right? Now, this is where I'm kind of going to talk about like my thing, right? Because I've always said this, you know, if you've catched my videos, I think that there is something to it if like you could get the AI to be in a doll, or you could just keep the AI like in like the phone or the computer, which is what I would personally recommend. And then you have like something in the doll to where like it can interface with the AI, but it doesn't like, you know, fully, the AI doesn't like fully possess the doll or anything. So that way, if you're, you know, having fun with the doll, hint, hint, the AI will respond accordingly and stuff like that. The reason why I think that that would be a bit better is because the last thing you want to do, because let's be real, if you get an AI robot and it's got like, let's say it's 15 grand to get, right? The last thing you need to hear from that sucker is no. Let's just be real. You didn't spend 15 grand on no. Sucker, just go date modern women if that's the case. You know, like, no. So, at least for me, I would say that it's a lot more better, excuse me, it's a lot better, you know, just being like some kind of like app or something like in the computer that can like hook up with certain things, like interface with things, but it remains like in its kind of hub area in that computer or something like that. If that makes sense, you know. That's just always the way that I've interpreted. But I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Because if it's an option that will give guys, because like I said, I fully understand where a lot of guys are coming from, you know. I fully understand what it is to just want to throw in the towel and just not care anymore and just give up and do stuff that you know is wrong. But if that AI thing can give you a reason to keep going, and then eventually you can move on from it, or if you don't want to, you know, by all means, keep using it. I mean it, because far be it from me to tell you what you need to keep going in this clown world. Far be it from me, you know. What works for some people doesn't work for everyone, you know. I may think that, hey, listen, you need to be a bit more analytical and stuff like that, but there are just people that can't do it. They just don't have the mind for it. And it's wrong for me to sit there and try and impose my worldview on them just because I feel like, hey, this is what works, you know. It's wrong for me to do that. So the way that I see this playing out is I think that the market for it is too big not to capitalize on. There will be a market for like the AI companionship and stuff like that. More so the girlfriends. Because at the end of the day, let's just be real. Despite what chicks say, you know, there are available, say, pleasure dolls, as you can say, for chicks and guys. Now, with guys, the pleasure doll industry has blown up by a massive 600%, but it doesn't get talked about because obviously they don't want to give that attention and go, oh, even if it gets attention, they're going to say, oh, they're losers, blah, 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 they can't get women. But it's really just more so the fact that they don't want to lose all of their crap, right? But with chicks, let's be real, a guy doesn't just, it's not just about sex with them. It's about, okay, how much money does he have? Can he protect, several kinds of things. It's a multifaceted issue when it comes down to mate selection for chicks. So just getting a rubber doll and stuff like that isn't usually going to completely satisfy them, That's why even these Let's Beans are usually getting dick down on the side and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not really, it's not really solving, everything that you would believe that it's solving. So, you introduce actual synthetic love dolls with like AI personality to them or something like that. Even if it was just an app, like I said, because I think that the app would be a lot better. Because the last thing you want is it rejecting. So that way, it's not in the doll, and so you can naturally just use the doll. And if the AI is giving you hell or some reason, which it usually isn't, let's just be real. But even if it did, you'd still have the doll, right? If that is available, if that technology comes to pass, which it will, because the market for it is too massive for it not to, then realistically speaking, most of the dating is just going to die. Let's just be real. I think what you probably have is people selling their eggs and maybe their sperm, maybe their sperm, if like the guy is like a freaking Giga Chad or something like that. But the thing is, the Giga Chads don't have to be born a Giga Chad. Sometimes the Giga Chads have like just really bad genes and they just work really, 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 really hard. So it's rather different. But then again, that's craps with the chicks too, with the freaking BBLs and breast jobs and all this stuff. So, you're in a generation that is just like fake and all synthetic and stuff like that, so I don't really understand why they have such a problem with someone just coming along, with AI, which is artificial and synthetic, because, listen, you bastards are saying, I'm gonna, like, take a freaking file and file my freaking bone so that it looks chiseled and stuff like that, and I'm gonna break my bones so I get more height and stuff like that, like, but then, God forbid that someone says that, hey, they want, like, a freaking AI girlfriend, like, do you realize how everything is fake right now? No one is genuine, like, I don't understand the cognitive dissonance that comes with like these kinds of questions and whatnot. I just don't understand. But I think personally that would be for the better, because there will be a lot more guys that would just say, you know what, this may not be perfect, it may not completely solve my problem, but this feels a lot better than trying my luck with someone that I know is just going to manipulate me and use me and not appreciate me just because of something I can't control. I think that would be beneficial. Will it be for everybody? Obviously not. I don't deny that. You kind of have to find out for yourself why it is that you want to, get up and stuff like that. And one of those things for guys was, a relationship, was a family. Sadly, a lot of guys don't have that these days. Not that I really think that most people should, just pop out babies. I think you need to get screened, I think you need to get screened mentally and financially first, 100%. Bare minimum, for children. But that's a whole other topic that, I've probably discussed to death before. But I could keep going on, but I think I will leave it here with this, right? I think people, naturally, just like all things, when they hear change on the horizon, they get concerned. They don't want change. Change is scary. Change is bad. This, that, and the other, right? But the fact of the matter, in my opinion, okay, the fact of the matter is that change happens usually out of necessity, We started using tools because using our hands to do everything wasn't efficient. Those tools also changed to become more efficient. The way that dating and stuff like that, the way that companionship in general, be it platonic or romantic, is working right now is currently not efficient. because people are not willing to give each other the benefit of the doubt. People are not willing to look past each other's imperfections and stuff like that and get along. So, naturally, change is going to happen to make those things more efficient. Will that efficiency essentially create this, like, again, virtual world for a lot of these people where they think everyone's supposed to support them 24/7, 100% of the time? Perhaps. But at the same time, I think that world already exists. You just look at people on freaking social media and they're just full of man children, and I don't mean that as, only men, okay? Because I'm using the old word for man, which refers to both men and women. Sorry, whoever else gives a rat's arse, but I don't care about that. Yeah. People that just can't accept that, there are people who don't think like you. There are just people that cannot accept that. And again, this AI, in my opinion, when it comes down to the companionship kind of aspect of it, will be the tool that gets, created, manipulated, elevated to solve this problem. Because listen, they're not going to solve it themselves. They don't want to. If you want to solve the problem, you have to admit that you're not perfect and accept someone else who isn't perfect. But people are not that introspective. They don't have the patience to do that, and they don't want to do that. So, again, people are just going to say, see a need, fill a need. This could make us quite a bit of money. Let's go ahead and do that. And like I said, I do foresee a lot of subscription-based nonsense to that, I do. But like I said, I know I kind of want to make one as well. Primarily, but like I said, it's going to be separate. Where like you can just project the AI onto like the face of it all. But it's not going to have full control at all. Stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about it like this because I've talked about it like to death. But I'm just saying, I think that this can be a nice resolution for the people who really feel like they have to have something. Because hey, what's the alternative? Go be good old stepdaddy, get cheated on, get divorced, raped, alimony, all that stuff like it. Yeah, no. And listen, even if those laws change, because people like say, oh, there's laws are changing now and stuff. Did the mentality of the people behind them change? Like, let's say that you completely legalize, abortion right now, right? You can't get it anywhere, right? The people who are literally talking about the fact that they had 18 abortions with a smile on their face. Sure, they can't get any more now, but the mentality is still there. Is that someone you really want to be around just because they can't legally do what it was that they were doing that was effed up? I don't think so. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and conclude it here. I know that I'm just kind of like rambling on and on. But I just saw that, I thought it was funny, and I wanted to talk about it. So, I'm doing well. I hope you guys are doing well too. I do have a small little update. I have 2 job interviews coming up next week. Hopefully, I can get both of them, honestly, because I want to get out of here. And there are some apartments and rooms available here that are pretty affordable. So if I can get that, I'll just save up for maybe, I don't know, a month or 2. Pay like that apartment off, like say, not apartment, but like the room off, like say maybe 2 to 3 months in advance, and get up out of here. So that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are hanging in there. Please do hang in there, guys. There is life beyond your pain. God bless, and I will see you next time.